Take 6. Now, for these past 6 takes, I've been trying to explain a quote that I found via the game Corpse Party. Now, this quote I will read for you so you understand, of course. Each time you turn around, stop for a moment and ask yourself, is the world behind you still back there? I think that world behind you is not back there. Now, how you have to think about it is, well, before I get to that, there's other people that I've asked this to, and they literally will turn around and look behind them and say, yeah, it's still back there. Well, they're fucking faggots, and you don't listen to them, okay? Or you're a faggot too. So, good job, guys. Now, you've got to think about it like this. You start off thinking smaller scale, and you'll build your way up, trust me. So, it goes, let's say you're standing in a room. In this room, there are only walls. There are no furniture, no windows, no anything on the floor. It's just walls and a tile floor, let's say. These walls, it doesn't matter what color they are, they can be drenched in semen if you really want to. Fucking pervert. So, in this room, you're standing there. You are not allowed to move. You can't back up, you can't lean over and touch the walls that are a little bit out of arm's length. And you're not allowed to turn your head. You're only allowed to look forward. So, looking forward, you only see the front wall and some of the sides. To you, the only part of that room that exists is that front and side part of the room. Now, you don't know what's behind you. It might be a straight drop-off, or the wall might be 1 inch from your back. So that doesn't exist. The wall back there does not exist because you do not see it. And in your field of view and your vision and such, it doesn't. It's not there. Moving up a bit, there's a desert. In this desert, there are no plants, no animals, just rocks and sun. Now, this desert does not exist, technically. This is what I'm getting to. This desert does not exist until you act upon it. When you act upon this desert, you are forcing it into existence by interacting with it, by looking at it. It's forced to exist because there cannot just be a black hole in the middle of there. So, that space does not have to exist when you're not looking at it, so it's not there when you're not looking at it. When you are not in this place, or looking, or feeling, or touching, or seeing, it's not there. But when you go and you act upon it by looking, feeling, hearing, feeling that sand or it under your feet, you are forcing that place to exist. So, technically, when you're not looking at it, it isn't there. When no one's looking at it, it isn't there. When a consciousness is not in that area, interacting with it, it's not there. It does not have to exist. There is no way of proving that desert exists by not acting upon it. So, in other words, it doesn't exist. Thinking bigger, the universe. When we're on the Earth, our planet, just out there, and we look off into space, and we, with our telescopes, and we see stars and planets and such. Looking up with your normal eyes, you can't see those planets, most of them at least. But we take that telescope and we scan the skies for where we think these planets should be. When we see something there, we force it to exist because it didn't exist until we looked at it. So as soon as you get away from that telescope and you go back and write your discovery down, that instantly disappears. It's not there. But the second you look back at that thing, it's there because you're forcing it to exist by interacting with it. So, super small scale. You're laying in your bed at night. You're about to fall asleep. You're listening to music or whatever the fuck you want. I don't really care. You can be making sweet love to your lady friend or man, faggot. Now, underneath that bed, you don't see it. You don't interact with that. For all you know, there's no underneath of that bed. The underneath of that bed does not exist because you're not seeing it, interacting with it, or anything. I can't see the fucking underneath my bed. See that shit? Yeah. So, who knows, maybe back there by the wall on the very end of the room, there might just be nothing there. Nothing exists. So, my cousin James, you've seen him in a few videos, he brought up the point of, well, imagine a person on the complete other side of the world. This person's somewhere else in the world, and you can imagine it. This person does not exist until you find it. Which, we're thinking, you can't do this with consciousness. The consciousness interacts with us. But overall, like the other half of the world, those people over there don't interact with you. So you, those people, do not exist. You are in your own closed space on your town, city, whatever half of the world you want to live on. Now, this closed space is multiple closed spaces. Like your half of the world and somebody else over another half of the world, somebody else on another half. That's nice. So, these multiple closed spaces, if you open them up, there's just a bigger multiple closed space. So that interacts with the theory of it doesn't exist until you look at it or interact with it. So if you really think about this, that desert out there that I mentioned earlier, it doesn't exist. Not looking at it. The second you go to interact with it, to go see that desert, it's forced into existence, causing it to be there, because it can't just be blank. So, and that's pretty much it. I've explained everything. That quote blew my mind. Hopefully I explained everything quite well for you guys. And, yeah. So later tonight, when you're laying in bed, think about me. Not in a sexual way, you fucking faggot. Think about it as what I've just said from the archives of those retarded bros. Thank you. Good night.